Want to get the most out of your Kingdom Hearts free adventure? Well, I got some tips and tricks for you from upgrading to things you should keep in mind while traveling to the awesome different worlds. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. Let's start with something that will keep you alive at all times. At one point you will get a prompt talking about the Kupo coin, but that's really early in the game. And this Kupo coin gives you effectively a second life. So if you die, you get a second chance and can continue while the enemies have the same amount of health, instead of having to start the fight from the beginning again. And this is super handy during the later encounters in the game, especially on the proven difficulty. You can have one of these coins active at one time, so totally make sure that you do. It's only 400 money as well, so totally worth it. It's always smart to check the Moogle store after you unlocked new worlds, because the chances are high that new items like meals, but also weapons for Goofy and Donald are for sale. I already showed you the cool red shield you can get for Goofy. I will link to that video at the end of this video. But for Donald, it will be really nice to get the Warhammer for pretty insane increased stats. I bought this one while playing through the 4th world, but totally check if you are earlier than that if you can already buy this weapon. During your playthrough, you will also unlock new abilities or slots for gear, mostly after boss fights. So it's super smart to go to your inventory and abilities again after a big encounter to make sure your character is always the best it can be. And yeah, again, checking the store regularly for items with an exclamation mark help as well. And why not upgrade our keyblades while we are shopping at the Moogle? Sometimes that drastically increases your power as well. At the beginning it only cost fluorite and wellspring shards that you likely got a ton of by just playing through the game, flying around in your Gummi ship. Fluorite can be found in special chests, like for example in Olympus near the kid with the golden Hercules statues. There's a chest with this resource, and don't be afraid to spend it, because fluorite will become purchasable after finishing the first 4 worlds. So then you can easily upgrade all your keyblades to level 3, since you will be swimming in the money at that point anyway. And the fluorite only cost 500 money as well. Plus the keyblades that you earn later on in the game already start at a higher level, so that saves you some resources and money as well. To upgrade your keyblades to level 4 and higher, you will need Damascus and then later adamantite. You should be able to find that while flying and destroying asteroids with your Gummi ship, but in later worlds in the game you will also find these materials. These items will not be sold in the Moogle shop for as far as I know, so you really have to go and farm them in the later worlds, of course explore with your ship. And you want to do that because having stronger keyblades really makes a difference, but there are also smart ways to use them. You can have a 3 equipped at the same time, something you will be able to do after completing the 2nd world, so pretty early on in the game. And what you will notice is that the keyblades have different stats that are all really noticeable during combat. So for example, it's smart to slash with the keyblade from Hercules, the hero's origin, because that has a focus on strength, while the shooting star from Twilight Town is better with magic attacks. And by the way, when doing a magic ability like the fire or water one, it's smart to lock onto the target first, so you are sure to hit that. You of course do that with R1 or the right bumper on Xbox One. And the same goes for the Goofy combo, because he lands on the target that you lock at that point. But yeah, going back to the keyblades, switch between them carefully when you want to slice the enemy or do a magic attack. What you can also do, for example, is build up your combo with slices from the hero's origin that do more damage, and then after you got 3 of the combo counters, you switch to the shooting star to activate the double arrow guns ability to do some nice ranged attacks. And I love this power, by the way, because it's completely different compared to the other keyblades that you of course get early on, with a cool focus button to easily hit the enemies with multiple hits as well. And of course, don't forget to finish each move or attraction as well for some nice damage, or in the case of the hero's origin, for some nice horse lightning damage, while you of course fly around. And it's weird that it zooms in, like I'm not sure if you can change that, let me know in the comments down below, but it zooms in and then you really don't know where the heck you're going, and then at the end of the ability it zooms out again. So that's kind of weird. So yes, finishers are super important, because otherwise if you let the upgraded form of your Keyblade, Attraction or Link run out without hitting the triangle or Y button before the bar goes empty, then you do not get the extra damage that you totally want. So yes, staying in the fight is of course super handy to do that crazy damage. I have a cure applied to my shortcuts, so I can heal myself when needed. It does cost all my remaining MP though, so what you want to do before you do the cure is make sure you already do a ton of abilities, because it has to recharge your bar anyways, and if you have just a little MP over, you can still do your cure. Potions and other medicine can of course work as well, but yeah, Donald should also be helping you stay alive. But if you do not like how he behaves, then you can always change that in the customize window. By default, he only uses his recovery abilities in emergencies, so when you are close to dying, but it might actually be nice to have him do these heals earlier, like when they are needed, and that is something you can select under recovery. I mean, like crazy seems a little too crazy, but that is possible as well. You can also have him fully embrace the support role by saying hands off, so he stays back and just focuses on supporting you and the rest of the team, or you can also select only you. Something you can tweak there as well. So totally worth tweaking some stuff here if you feel that your friends aren't doing what you want. And you can also change the behavior of other Disney characters that are helping you out in their world. Another way to get some health back is by summoning a link, something you can do via the combat menu, but I love to put this at my shortcuts as well, just like having my favorite one here. So apart from these links being super powerful, they also regenerate your health fully. So after a pretty long attack, you got all your health again. Remember though that you do need a full MP bar for this one, so you cannot do the cure tactic where you first do a ton of magic before healing yourself. So we talked a lot about combat, but there are also some things you can do before combat to enhance your power. A nice thing that you should not forget after your first visit is going to the bistro to make some meals. If you like me, go crazy and hit everything you can in the world. They will have some nice ingredients to cook stuff at the bistro. You of course have to master the cooking as well to get the best results. Pro tip is to save before you go to the bistro, so that if you lose your ingredients multiple times, then you can always go back to your previous save and are able to try it again. And after trying a lot, you will totally get the hang of it and get some nice foods that will increase your stats. And if you cook a ton and get a lot of excellent ratings, then the bistro will gain a star and Scrooge McDuck will reward you with some nice equipment. There's even a special menu as well with other things you can cook if you got the ingredients. So I think it's totally worth checking this out and cooking from time to time. Another thing you want to spend some time with are the Gummi ships, not only because you can encounter bosses that you need to kill in order to proceed, but also because they are handy for resources to enhance your power. So making your ship as strong as possible is extremely handy. So in the world map, you just go to the Gummi editor, go to main ship, and here you can, for example, edit the high wind level 1 sample, select install blocks, and then continue making the best ship possible. It's smart to look for the best blocks in terms of cost and HP, and don't forget the firepower of course as well. Totally spend a lot of your overall cost on that, and some speed can be pretty nice for your ship indeed. And if you are happy with the look of your ship and the stats, then you can select it when you embark to another world, or if you just want to fly around, you can of course do that as well to get new blueprints, parts for your ship, or resources to enhance your character. But yeah, you will mostly be using your ship of course to get to the new worlds, and you will mostly unlock 2 at one time. And a good thing to note is that you see the recommended battle level of these worlds as well. So I think it's smart to select the one with the lower required level than immediately going to the higher one. In the case of the Toy Box and the Tangled World, World 3 and 4, you see that the Toy Box has a lower level than a Tangled. But there are even more reasons to go to the Toy Box first, because from your first encounter you get the aerial recovery skill that lets you recover yourself after being hit by an enemy in the air. And this can really come in handy against the enemies in the Tangled World, especially one of the bosses. So I think it's smart to do the Toy Story world first, but of course it's really up to you. And there you have it, some nice Kingdom Hearts 3 tips that every player should know. Of course, if you got some cool tips yourself, feel free to share them in the comments down below, and subscribe for way more Kingdom Hearts 3 content. We, and with we I mean Dennis, my freelancer, and myself, have some more cool videos about this game planned, including a look at the keyblades, some tips and tricks on that, and way more. So keep an eye out for more content. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video to support the channel. Check out my recent Kingdom Hearts 3 video on great gear you can get early in the game. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.